Welcome to today's Conduit Leadership Interview. My name is Jerry Bierman. I'm the owner-operator of Learn Glass. Today I got my buddy Brad Miller, owner-operator of Ideal Garage Solutions with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I asked Brad, I twisted his arm slightly, and I said, hey, one of the things that we find consistent about our friends in the residential trades, leaders and owners, is that we have all fought through thresholds, overcome obstacles, things that we've thought, man, I don't know if I can do this. I still have those conversations with myself. I'm not sure I can do this. So I asked Brad to share a couple experiences, and he's got two I think that'll be really compelling for the entire tribe.
Great.
Two obstacles that you encountered in your professional career of things that you're like, man, I'm not sure I can get through this.
Sure. I think, one, thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Huge fan of the Conduit Initiative, and I just love seeing the young people out there doing learning.
Yeah.
Lifelong learning is something that keeps you young, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. One specific example would be I had a supervisor that was a new supervisor, had been with the company for ages, and he was genuinely, apparently threatened by me. And so he was purposeful to...
When you say ages, give me context. 10 years, 20 years?
30.
Wow.
One of the original 5.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
So I'm not saying threatened by me as in I'm arrogant, but there was just he was a very controlling gentleman. And there was I believe, a purposeful effort to separate me from the relationships that I had established with the executive leadership team, my customer base, and this type thing. And I think it's probably applicable to people that... Yeah. Whether it's your day-to-day, everyday supervisor, whether it's a job site, whether it's a challenging contractor, whatever it is, there's always something out there that can really make you think, I can't do this. And in this case, it was my supervisor, my day-to-day supervisor, so it wasn't like I could fire him. So it was... Yeah. It was a unique experience for me and one of the most challenging times with a supervisor.
Were there physical things he said, or the way that he, you pick up, from people a vibe?
Sure.
Was it a combination of those things?
It was definitely a combination of body language. It was a combination of the timing of meetings. Monday mornings at 8 a.m. update on how the week's going to be, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But more so it was that separation of, hey, why did you talk to so-and-so? You don't need to talk to so-and-so, you talk to me.
Micromanaging.
Oh, yeah, but to the point of, I think, containment and
toxicity,
isolation. Yeah. And it's the closest thing. I've never really been bullied in my life so far. But it was the closest thing I've experienced to pretty much abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could see, and I know I've been guilty of this in our small business. So with our small company, one of the things that I've been guilty of, and some of my staff has challenged me on over the years, is that sometimes I'm so busy GSDing, getting stuff done, that customer facing I can be really kind and hey Brad, it's great to see you.
Sure.
And then I'm a Marine inside, I'm like, Connor, Leighton, you guys need to, and it's just it's the reality of being an owner and having the responsibility on your shoulders. I find that for me it's challenging. I don't want to be that guy, and I've been that guy. I have been that guy, and it is oppressive, and it creates toxicity in your company. And quite candidly, just like you did, you left.
Yeah.
I've had guys leave, and gives you a time to kind of evaluate yourself and be like, gosh, man, am I giving my internal customers, my staff, the best version of myself?
Yes.
That's good. Give me another area that you were looking at.
Yes.
An obstacle, and you're like, man, I don't know if I can fight through this.
So I purchased Ideal Garage Solutions when COVID was underway. So
it's a smart business time.
Yeah. So my in-laws, everybody was like, Brad, what's going on? If you want some extra stress, we can help you out with that. But so we started the conversation in the work in January.
Wow. Yeah.
So at the same time, we learned that my wife had breast cancer right before.
Gosh.
So we went into the purchase of the business actually executed in the summer. So COVID was underway.
Yeah.
My wife, we thought was going to be nothing simple about breast cancer, but we thought it was going to be just a lumpectomy with maybe some radiation. Well, that evolved into full chemo and just the whole nine.
Yeah.
And so I'm out, with customers trying to learn the new business, with COVID scares, and my wife's in chemo.
Yeah.
And if she got COVID, that they would stall.
Bad news,
they'd stall the chemotherapy, but if they had to stall it for too long, they'd have to restart. And if they would have had to restart, I don't even know. I think my wife would have taken all our money and gone to Mexico or something. But it was a really good opportunity, but it was just so much that my wife is great now, but she was helping with rendering. She was doing this work, but she was sick.
Yeah.
And we just bought this business. I left. We're on Cobra now. We're trying to find new insurance. I'm trying to make sure I can keep everything running because it was such a great business that I wanted to buy into. And there were times literally when I thought, you know what, I just need to call somebody and sell this thing.
Yeah.
I just got to get out. I got to get out from under this. And, you know, part of that was fear. Part of that was just thinking that I can just run away. But it would have been a short-term runaway, and I'm convinced that ultimately, I know it would have been a bad decision. But really, literally, there were times when I thought, you know, even if I lose money, I need to get out of this. But it was actually a great opportunity. My wife and I got closer. We grew in our faith together. And I leaned on all of that very heavily.
And fast forward, I asked offline a minute ago, she's fine.
Yes.
She's in recovery, thank
God. She's in recovery, and we've had some great, blessed with great doctors. And, you know, Melody's Melody, and she's an absolute gem, so she's pushing through.
That's when you and I met. You and I met right in that transition.
That's right.
And so one of the, and again, one of the encouragement for folks in the tribe is that if you're in a group, in one of the, I think there's 6 groups that are meeting currently, if you're in one of the 6 groups, that's great. If you're not, one of the messages for you is that there's always a seat at the table for you. Whenever you, one of the things that we talk to other leaders and owners about is whenever you want or need a seat at the table, there's always a seat at the table for you. So Brad and I met right when he transitioned into ownership, and I didn't know all that about the story as I've gotten to know you over the past year plus. And so anyway, Brad's been a part of I've been a part of his group as we're doing this peer-to-peer and this mutual mentorship, and you have overcome that challenge, which is really inspiring. And I think that's another good reminder. And you and I hear this all the time in the groups, that some of the guys that you're looking like Rick, he's got his act together. I mean, this guy's really got his act together. And it's nice in the group to hear some of the areas that he's struggling with. I'm going to actually interview him next week. So it'll be interesting to hear some of the constraints that he's fought through.
But just to echo the tribe, it is nice because you take a handful of people that have been doing this for a while and they've been there and seen it. Sometimes to the point they might laugh at your, you being panicky or upset or
paranoid. I know you were about to say paranoid.
I can't believe this is happening. What do I do? And the team will say, "Yep, same exact problem," or "I screwed up exactly the same way." And it's just nice to know that there is a team, and they really are there if you ever need to sit at the table to say, "Hey, I get it, but it's going to be all right." Take this, and break it out, and you're going to learn from it.
And sometimes it's like, you think that's bad. Don't do this. Right? I lost a limb on this fiasco. So
absolutely.
Anyway, but as a leader, and I think you talked about it in the intro, it's like lifelong learning. One of the things I appreciate about you, Brad, and your friendship is that you're somebody that is a lifelong learner.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, which means that we're going to have more obstacles, which we're going to talk about in a minute. More obstacles that we're like, can I get through this one too? So we're going to have more.
I hope so.
More to come. Hey, thank you for watching this Conduit video. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button for our YouTube channel.